we can see ourselves.
Hit the
The buttons. Press the button. Pull the lever, Kronk.
We are so late. But I'm glad because I can be on the full show.
Wrong lever. Oh, hang on.
Yeah, same here. I was like, oh.
Oh, that was like, you know what a verb is?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. Yeah.
A verb. It was a coffee verb.
Well,
Yummy.
it's better that than a shart, right?
Oh, listen. On the list of things that can happen to you.
I hope we're not live yet. I hope we're not live right now.
We are.
It's
Well,
nice.
that's we have found our title for this week, gentlemen.
This won't be in the audio side.
There it is.
Better than a shirt.
We've gone from Kit and Krista to better than a shark. Okay.
Yes.
Let's I'm sorry,
Oh,
y'all.
geez.
It's like
right there.
yeah, it's hanging on. It's sour.
Need to go clear that out before we go live.
No, I'm good. We're good.
All right. Everybody's ready? Here we go.
We're ready.
All right. 3. I gotta make sure I'm ready too. 3, 2. Welcome to the multi-dimensional dumpster Phoenix. That is the Nintendo Dads episode 371, recorded on April 14th, 2022. By the way, that was a fancy way of saying dumpster fire. On tonight's episode, we talk what Bandai Namco is up to, if Breath of the Wild 2 can run on the current Switch, game releases, and of course, your questions. Jesse, you know what to do.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Marty here. You're listening to Nintendo Dads, and thank you. Thank you for tuning in each and every week to what Tim so eloquently described as a dumpster Phoenix in your podcast player. We love you guys. We're thankful for you. And listen, thankful for some new folks who joined us last week because of Kit and Krista being on the show. And hopefully you stuck around. And if you didn't, well, you're lame. But that's okay. Joining me on the show this week is our normal cavalcade of characters, except for Justin, because Justin is sick and his whole family's sick, by the way. It's yep, totally sucks, but we're here and that's okay. Joining me on the show this week, Tim Off. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing good. I made it. I made it to the show. I thought I wouldn't make it, but thankfully, you know.
You are why we're late.
Yes, it is my fault. It's my fault. So blame everybody.
Can we just be honest? He's why we're late.
Yes.
It's okay.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct.
Won't hold it against you because you do so much. But if your output drops, then
you gotta let me go.
You're going to be like me and Jesse. You're going to be fired. Like I don't even know why we're on the show this week. We were apparently fired last week.
No, because you're on the show right now because now there's a big thing going on where all the podcasts start trading people. So
okay.
Justin's in trade negotiations with another podcast right now. So
trade negotiations with the Senate. I've been playing too much Lego Star Wars. I'm sorry.
How are you doing, Marty?
A blockade. I'm doing great. Apparently, I've had too much caffeine.
I thought it wasn't enough.
One person today. There's never enough.
Should have stuck with that 8-ounce cup instead of the 20.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And pre-show patrons of the show who get our pre-show will know exactly what Jesse's talking about. Speaking of Jesse, Mr. Waldak, how are you this evening?
Pretty good. We had a little fun with work the other day as well, like normal. Like we did a release. The people who made test calls to verify it said this isn't working, so they rolled it back. And one of the things I called out as this will reduce authentication and cause more calls to go to the floor, but that's how it's supposed to work. And so his failure was exactly what I warned about. It was working as intended. So
in other words, Jesse was right.
Of course. I'm always
Jesse
right.
was right. Jesse was right.
Don't we have a button for that?
Do we? I don't remember. I know we have one for Justin, but I don't know if I have one for me.
You programmed a robot voice in it. Jesse
been,
was right. Jesse was right.
Oh yeah, well, it's been so long since I've used it. I don't know where that is.
It's gone. It has disappeared into the ether, much like our following as we continue to ramble here.
I'm still
guys, it is.
Button in case there it is.
Jesse was right. Jesse was right. Jesse
was right. There you go. There you go.
Let's see what happens from when we move from a really well put together episode last week to being late and
to the phoenix rising up from the dumpster.
Yes. Got to live up to our namesake, right?
Right. Well, it's April 14th, and we've got a little bit of news and a lot about what we've been playing and some other things to talk about. So let's just dive right into the show, shall we? And tonight's show is brought to you by Manscaped, but it's also brought to you by patreon.com/Nintendo Dads. Every single one of our patrons, you are responsible for this mess. Yep, we're going there. But we love you and we're thankful for you. If you're subscribed to us over at patreon.com/Nintendo Dads, you can go over there and for as little as $1 a month, you join in our community, get to chat with other wonderful patrons, dive into monthly mayhem, vote in the booty bracket. Apparently that's a thing. Those words coming out of my mouth, like it just, I need to go home and take a shower. But there's tons of stuff going on there. $5 patrons get our whole slate of sub channels in the Discord. $10 a month patrons get pre and post show audio and art card and other stuff. And $30 patrons, you get to be on the show. And that's coming up soon. In the month of May, we're going to be focusing on our Patreon producers. And so check your inboxes on Patreon for details if you're a $30 a month patron. And thank you, by the way, to each and every one of our patrons. Guys, just like before we dive into the news, I got to say, I really enjoyed last week's show. We had a great time. If you missed it, and maybe you're just a first-time listener to Nintendo Dads, we had Kit Ellis and Krista Yang on last week from the Kit and Krista show. You can go back and find that in our archives and just go enjoy, man. We bombarded them with questions, and they were so nice.
Yes, it was a lot of fun to hear a lot of things that I don't think a lot of people are asking yet on their own show, and we were able to ask those questions on ours. So it was really cool.
Yeah, and listen, if you're in our community and you sent in a question and you were like, man, I sent in a couple questions and they didn't get asked, understand we were trying to be respectful of their time. And It's not that we didn't like your questions or we didn't think that they were appropriate or whatever. It's just that we pared some of that down for time and we asked what we thought was the best question.
Well, and it was also to make sure we got everybody an opportunity to ask at least one question. So if we had time, we would have gone back and gone through anybody's multiple questions, but we were not only trying to be respectful of their time, we were trying to be respectful to everybody's great questions and at least give everybody a chance to ask at least one question. And we got one question from everybody. We weren't able to get everybody's multiple questions. We were able to get everybody's one question at least. So.
We did. And they were so nice to include their guest spot in their weekly newsletter and talk about how they were on the show. And so Kit, Krista, if you're listening or you ever see this, thank you again for being on the show. We appreciate you guys and your time. And we're looking forward to hearing more from your show over at the Kit and Krista podcast. And you should go over there and definitely check them out. With that being said, let's focus back on our podcast. Stop navel gazing here for just a few minutes. And let's talk about some news. Shall we?
Yes, of course.
Sunday was a big Kingdom Hearts 20th anniversary event. Woke up Sunday morning here in the States to see that there had been 2 brand new Kingdom Hearts games announced. The first being Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, which is a mobile game going in closed beta in August, which will, as you know, be an integral part of the story that will someday get remade for consoles because nobody cares about playing Kingdom Hearts on a phone. Stop making mobile games. Blech.
Square Enix and their mobile games.
Right? Also, Kingdom Hearts 4 was announced with a lengthy trailer, and
Marty,
there's
keep
no
your
official
excitement
release date
down.
here.
Keep your excitement down.
You
You're
know,
too
how
excited
much
there.
I know how much I love Kingdom Hearts. Actually, this of course has been picked apart by the internet incessantly since Sunday,
and the internet will still
because
buy
that's what the internet does.
Yep.
What they think they found is a reference to an ATST, meaning that Star Wars may be coming to Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, Roger noticed that right away, and he pointed it out during his reaction video to it.
Yeah.
And other people have then talked about it since then.
Our good friend Infrendo is in the chat as we're recording. Here's what he says. Kingdom Hearts got a 4th entry before Metroid Prime.
Well, not necessarily.
No.
Tim is speechless.
No. I had to think about that. No. Metroid Prime 4.
We have seen footage of a Kingdom Hearts 4 before we've seen footage of a Metroid Prime 4.
So there's a difference there. He said entry, and you're saying footage. So yes, we got footage of a game that we probably won't see, like everybody said, until PlayStation 7 comes out.
That was me. I was like, I can't wait to play Kingdom Hearts 4 on my PlayStation 7 in 2035.
On the Discord that used to be used for VG Tribune staff, but repurposed for other reasons, he put a poll out on saying, when will this game come out? And the options are 2023, 2024, 2025, 2026, 2027, 2028, 2029, or 2030. And 2030 is the only one that got any votes. It's got like 4 votes.
Oh my gosh, y'all. Yeah, I really don't see this coming out for current gen consoles.
No.
Are we calling, by the way, Xbox Series X and PS5 current gen now?
Well, I have been for the last year. I don't know about you.
Okay. So
as
yeah,
released,
it's not coming out.
As soon as they're released, they're current gen.
Yeah, they're not coming out for current gen consoles. This is not happening.
Yeah. See, I don't know if it's just because that world is supposed to be real world, quote unquote, but I do not like that Sora model.
It's the same like hyper realistic look that they're going with for Final Fantasy now.
Yeah.
It's not.
But
it's okay.
Like, Donald and Goofy still looked like Donald and Goofy.
Yeah, so let's talk about that.
To this world, what the hell are they going to look like?
They're going to be a realistic duck carrying a wand and a dog carrying a shield.
No, they're going to be people wearing costumes.
I'm going to be super Tim.
So they're going to
Tim, shut up, because they'll hear that and they will do that. They will make that. And then there will be like fan fiction written about the human Goofy Donald things.
Yep. They're going to come into our real world, and then they'll take their head off and there'll be a human inside there.
Gosh, I've been a human this whole time.
So they're going to turn into Duck Hunt Dog.
Hey, by the way, who's planning on playing this on the cloud version on their Nintendo Switch?
Nintendo Switch Pro?
Audio.
Oh, we're going to get to that here.
Super Switch?
And we're going to get to that here in just a few minutes. But anyway.
Don't say that word.
Oh, we're going there. We're going there, Jesse. It's like the Twilight Zone.
Switch 2?
You can't escape it.
Switch
So yeah, this Kingdom Hearts 4, it's coming. Kingdom Hearts Missing Link, we'll forget about that, and it'll show up eventually. So yeah, Bandai Namco contacted Nintendo, or has been contracted by Nintendo for a remaster / remake of a 3D action game. This was pulled from NintendoLife.com, which says, this is the quote, "A few interesting job listings recently popped up on Bandai Namco's website involving what appears to be a remaster or remake of a 3D action game in collaboration with Nintendo. Planner and visual artist positions explicitly mention how the product is a 3D action game contracted by Nintendo and mentions the title being a remaster remake. What games are you hoping for?" I'm going to go to you guys first. What game do you think it is? Or hope it is?
Well, of all the options I've heard, I'm not interested in any of them, but the ones that seem to be like near the top of the list would be a Kid Icarus.
This is totally Kid Icarus Uprising. I hope everybody knows this. It's the 10th anniversary of Kid Icarus Uprising. It's time. It's time for it to be remade with sensical controls so everyone can experience that absolute gem of a game.
Yes.
It's still going to come with a stand.
It's that.
No, it's not, Jesse. Shh.
It's that, or I've also seen people mention Star Fox Assault, I think it was.
Yeah, that's another one that I've heard of.
That would be okay, but that's not what I want. I want it to be Kid Icarus.
Yes, I like that too.
Y'all, like,
I also
here's the
saw.
deal. No, go ahead, Tim. I'm sorry.
Oh, I was going to say I also saw Metroid Prime Trilogy mentioned, or the Prime games mentioned, but I don't think it's those because I truly believe those were already done.
I think there are two. And here's
or in process.
This is my theory, Tim. We're not getting Metroid Prime Trilogy. We're getting Metroid Prime, Prime 2.
Oh, we've already
Metroid
talked
Prime
about
3.
this before.
It's split up, and and it's maximizing profit. It's gonna. I fully expect one of those to drop this year to be like a fill-in for Advance Wars or Breath of the Wild 2 or something.
I have jokingly said that if they were to Nintendo this, it would be they would break it up back to the single games, Metroid Prime remastered, 1, 2, and 3 separately, and then drop them each year. And then after those 3 dropped, then the following year would be Metroid Prime 4.
Okay.
Which means we won't get Metroid Prime 4 until 2025.
That's right. You're but
would they then release a physical trilogy cart after?
Yeah, for the new system, whatever.
Oh, sure they would. Sure, yeah, and it would be a limited edition, and it would come with only half of what the physical collector's edition got in another country. Like another country would get like
the UK would get something super awesome,
a morph ball figure, and like actual Samus armor, and we would get an art book.
Yes,
and
they'd get the steel book, like we got the steel book on the Wii version of it.
Oh, that's true. That's true. Yeah, I remember that steel book. I had it for a little bit, and then sold it like a moron.
Mine's sitting on the shelf right back here.
Yeah, I should have kept it. I
didn't keep mine yet, though, Marty. I had to go back. I rebought it later.
Look.
So.
I think I still have my steelbook. I just don't know where the disc is.
I think I really do think this is Kid Icarus. And I'm not just saying that because
I'll be so excited if it is.
It's the popular thing. I think that when you hear 3D action game, they're purposefully avoiding what type of game it is, right? It's just, it's a 3D action game. It could be anything. Yeah. If there's any game from the 3DS that's due an upgrade or remake, like a second chance at life, it's this one.
Yes.
So I know people are going to say, well, no, it should be Samus Returns. Well, I agree with that too. Go ahead and make that. I'll buy them both.
But why would Namco Bandai make that one? That
one doesn't.
There's so many other groups that would make more sense. But Xenoblade Chronicles X is another one that's been thrown around. Get that game off of Wii U only.
Which one?
Xenoblade Chronicles X.
Oh, is that considered 3D action?
Why would Platinum not make that, or whoever?
Like again, not probably. Okay. Again, I would. There are probably better studios up for the job, but that's just a title that's been thrown around.
The only reason that I thought it would be Kid Icarus is the connection to Smash and Sakurai,
right?
With Bandai Namco.
Yes.
So, I mean, I know it's a Nintendo published title, but
maybe it's Kirby Air Ride instead. I'll take it though. That was a fun game.
No.
Yes, that was a blast. Our family had a blast with that game.
It's awful.
It was freaking awesome. You
anyway
don't know what you're talking about, sir.
Well, we've already kind of danced around this issue, and let's Monolith. That's it. Thank you, Ninfrendo. I'm saying Platinum's making Xenoblade. It's Monolith. Thank you for actualing us. I appreciate that. Seriously. Because somebody would not be as nice about it as you were. we've danced around this issue. Let's talk about it for just a second here. Of course, we saw the footage of Breath of the Wild 2 when the delay happened, right? We saw some new footage as well, just a snippet. But in Digital Foundry, dropped in their Direct Weekly number 55, this is what they said in that video. They said, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild is delayed, but showcased with footage that looks significantly beyond the Switch's capabilities. Now, of course, as soon as they said this, every news outlet goes nuts over it, right? The jump on it, obviously that means there's a new Switch model coming or this or whatever. We wanted to give you the quotes that actually came from Digital Foundry, the guys over there, John and Alex and Richard. Here's what John said. He said, the scale and image quality seemed quite good compared to the first Breath of the Wild game. Alex said the clouds are suspicious. His quote was, very rarely have we seen volumetric clouds on Switch, and these are not breaking down, and camera cuts having perfect anti-aliasing, which is something he noted that even the Series S and X and PS5 struggle with. Richard noticed that a noted Bob from Retro RGB on Twitter asked, is this running on the Switch? To which Richard said the leap in the image quality from the first title is stark, to say the least. So obviously there is the specter of a new version of the Switch coming out, which would likely run the game exactly as it was seen here, if not better. Jesse, I'm going to come right to you because you love this talk so much. What could this mean?
I think this is dev kit, which dev kits generally have not necessarily a better processor or better GPU, but definitely more memory than the end product that is being developed for. You know, the N64 was famous for this. You know, Donkey Kong 64 had a game-breaking bug that required the expansion pack because it was developed with 8 megs of RAM. The main system had only 4, and the only fix was give everyone extra RAM. Yeah. So I'm not saying that we're going to, magically get extra RAM, but I think part of this is, it's doing things that Switch can't do because it's a dev kit.
Yeah.
I don't think we're going to. If this game's supposed to come out next spring, I don't think we're going to get a new system this early.
Not when we've just gotten the OLED, right?
We just got the OLED. They announced DLC for Mario Kart 8 through next year, which means I took that to mean we're not going to see a new system until 24 at some point.
Sure.
And I think that is a reasonable date. Next year, I don't think is reasonable.
Comment in the chat here from Ninfrendo. How can they tell from a YouTube video?
Right, with all the compression and garbage that YouTube does.
Right, yeah. So I don't know.
That's why they're the experts at that kind of stuff.
Right.
And they do all those analysis videos on graphics all the time.
So Tim, would you say then, since they are the experts here, that there is a little bit of maybe the word I want to use is validity, but maybe it's not? Do you think that maybe the phrase that keeps coming to mind is where there's smoke, there's fire? Do you think that there may be something to this after all?
I think there's a difference between these guys saying these things than us saying these kind of things. Mm-hmm. So like I said, they're known for looking at graphics and looking at the differences and stuff like that. I've watched several of their things, like when Chrysler came out, the trilogy. They compared what it looked like on the Switch compared to the other systems, what it could do and all that kind of stuff. So, and other similar videos like that. So I like their speculation. This is all speculation. They said it's speculation.
Sure it is.
So they've also said in their video that, it's unlike Nintendo to do this, but other developers show, higher end version of the game, that will say not running on actual, hardware.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that
kits or a PC.
Right. Yeah. So, but I don't think that said that in their video, in Nintendo's video. But that's the thing about it too, is like Nintendo isn't known for doing that. They don't usually show it. In fact, there's been videos where the graphics look worse until we actually get the game, or we get a new like launch trailer that shows the game looks better than when it was.
Like Super Mario Odyssey?
Right.
Mario Odyssey changed significantly between its first look and what we got.
And also being Nintendo does some magical things with their code. So it could be look like that for all we know, and they know how to squeeze what they can out of the Switch.
They figured it out from Breath of the Wild to Breath of the Wild 2.
Yeah, to make it look like it's doing all these fancy things that they were using anti-aliasing and the volumetric clouds and all that kind of stuff. They're good at coding. They're good at doing what they do, and they do it small. So, and I have not seen any other company able to do the things that they do with their games. So as far as the coding stuff goes. So what they're saying has some validity. I think it does have validity. I think they've noticed some things that other people haven't, and that's why other news outlets have jumped all over it. And it as much as it sucks that they are also brought in the fact that, does this mean Switch Pro or whatever we want to call it next? I can understand that speculation as well. But at the same time, I didn't hear anybody say what I was just saying, that we can't take for granted what Nintendo can do with code and what they've learned with what they could do with the Switch. So, and who knows, maybe it's something that can be done on just the OLED. Maybe OLED will look fantastic and the OG one won't look so fantastic because there's something in the OLED that we're not aware of that they turn on or something.
As far as I know, the GPUs are the same. It's just a different.
Yeah, as far as I know too. Well, I think they're modified slightly, the chips, but not significantly. But like I said, Nintendo does things that shock us that we weren't expecting. I mean, I know it's apples and oranges, but Bluetooth, we didn't think we were going to get that, and we got that.
Right.
So
we got folders. I didn't think we were going to get that.
Yeah. So
well, obviously the Switch can handle great processing power.
Exactly. Because now we can do
not
folders.
Enough for themes, but we got folders. I'm with you, Tim. I think that's very wise to say, if it's anybody else reporting this at this point, we're like Jesse, and we don't want to hear about this. Like, right. We beat these rumors into the ground. Through the ground, we are in the center of the earth with the Switch Pro rumors. The horse has not just been beaten now that it's dead, it has collapsed, it is dilapidated. It's nothing more than a stain. However,
it didn't get its double jump in.
However, Digital Foundry carries some weight.
So far, they haven't done anything to tarnish that weight yet.
That's correct,
at least. So
that's correct. So just kind of maybe watch that. Don't go talking about your Nintendo uncle who knows that the Switch Pro is coming.
Yeah,
he doesn't know
exactly. And again, like I said, it doesn't have to mean there's a new Switch coming out. It just means that, like we said, there's just some sort of Nintendo magic probably going on there.
It means that there's a dock update that makes it look better. That's why you're able to update the dock on the OLED.
Yes.
Just saying. In other news, Nintendo announced this week that it's investing $40 million in the future of research and development in the company. In the press release that came out this week, they noted that they had acquired land and they are now building a new building, Research and Development Facility Building Number 2, which is a really interesting name for a building. It's going to be right next to their current building, and it's going to look exactly like their current building. It's just going to have a 2 on it.
It's another Lego brick.
So basically, it's literally just Super Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, except in the second building you're going to get to hang out with Yoshi. And there's going to be a star instead of Rosalina, and I'm still bitter about that.
Don't forget about the peppers.
Oh, Peppers.
In other words, you wanted to forget about the peppers.
They're terrible. It says here that along with R&D investments and capital investments, Nintendo believes acquiring and utilizing this land will carry on an important role in reinforcing its R&D. So let's have a little chat here. How do you think, let's do a little compare and contrast in how Nintendo is spending their money versus how Sony and Microsoft are spending their money. Notably, Sony and Microsoft are buying up developers all over the place. Nintendo has bought one developer that they pretty much already owns and is building another building.
Well, it shows me that they're wanting to ramp up their R&D, which means more internal teams, both hardware and software.
Is one building hardware and one building software?
Who knows?
Is it left Twix and right Twix?
We're
making Super Mario Galaxy 3. No, we're making Super Mario Galaxy 3.
Will there be an underground tunnel connecting the two?
Yes.
Probably.
I would hope so. Tim, what do you think about this? How about how they're spending their money? I wish Justin was here to talk about this.
Yeah, business Justin had some insights, but from my point of view, it's very interesting and it's very Nintendo again. I mean, Nintendo does business differently. They aren't as big as we think they are too, or at least people may perceive them as being huge and at the same level as Microsoft and Sony, but they're not. So they have to budget wisely and spend wisely. They can't make mistakes with their money, like say maybe Sony or Microsoft does, because they have things that they can set aside to cover or have other businesses to cover.
Microsoft's all cash deal still was like half of their cash on hand. So means they still have $80 billion of cash on hand.
Yeah. So in Nintendo, I mean, obviously they still have cash on hand too. They're no slouch when it comes to that. But again, it's because they know how to be fiscally sound. So it's just something that they're very careful with, and it makes sense that they're buying what they know. They're buying what makes sense, buying up the company that they bought before, and now buying land to improve on making that next step of R&D better, like they said. So, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes out of that.
Maybe Nintendo says the new building is to focus on Joy-Con issues.
I was going to say maybe the second building is to improve Joy-Con.
The second building is the right Joy-Con.
They should paint one building neon pink and the other neon blue.
Yes, they should.
I love it. Yes. Joy-Con building. I love it. That's fantastic. Some game release news that we wanted to talk about here. Don't Starve Together has now been released on Nintendo Switch. It came out on April 12th. This is the sequel to Don't Starve. It is co-op. So there's now a guy and a girl you can play as. I played the free demo of this game and I did not like it. It was too overbearing. It was too much going on, too many choices. I died.
Yeah, I played a friend's version on a PS4 years ago, and not a game for me.
Yeah, not for me. Also, we would be remiss if we didn't mention that Bush Hockey League is now out on Nintendo Switch. It came out on the 12th as well for $16. Single system, 1 to 4 player, but no online. This is the only hockey game that's out on Nintendo Switch right now, except ice hockey. It's not NHL 94.
Yes.
Yeah. So there you go.
I know you're disappointed, Marty. It's okay.
Yeah.
I know there's no online, but
I cried myself to sleep.
Yes.
That night.
No, Chris HL, we know, being one of our buddies in the community, he's and he's the one that always talks about NHL 94 and hockey and all that kind of stuff, along with some others like Bruce and stuff. We always talk about the hockey in our hockey league page, and we're hoping to eventually have an online hockey game that we can play together and do the hockey league with, other than just ice hockey from NES.
You don't need anything more than iSight.
I do.
You don't deserve any more than
I want to.
iSight.
Can they put at least Blades of Steel on there so we can play online
Sure. I mean,
and try that out,
whatever.
or
Whatever.
just work with
Yeah,
EA or something? Never mind.
absolutely.
That's just nonsense.
Also, at this point, right now, Mario Golf is now live in the Nintendo 64 app on the NSO expansion pack. So you too can go back and play a crappy 64-bit golf game.
Hey,
When you could just be playing Mario Golf Super Rush or whatever it's called. I don't even remember
Hey,
what the name of that game is.
we don't besmirch our golf league too.
I listen. I like the Mario Golf game, but why
Why do that?
would
in
you want to
64?
go back and play this? Why? When you have it's like saying I would much rather play Mario Kart 64 than play Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's
No,
like saying
It's
I
going
would
back and knowing what was there before and appreciating
I
what
get
you
it.
have now.
I get it. But it's like driving a car with square wheels or driving a car with
So
regular
you're
wheels.
saying I shouldn't go
Yeah.
out there and change my round wheels to square wheels
So you're
just
just
to
picking on the
appreciate
polygon
my
count
round
of the
wheels?
N64.
No, I'm literally saying that some of those games had cars with square wheels on the 64. Y'all, the shine is look, the bloom is off the rose for that era of games.
No.
Oh, I
yeah.
agree. But this
It's
is
awful.
a game I've never played before. I kind of got tired of the Super Rush one. I'll put some time into this. I said I'd participate in the League 2, but after that, I'll probably never touch it again.
Now, see, I say all this, and I do like Mario Tennis for the 64. So I'm okay with that. And the GameCube one. I like both of those. But anyway, I'm just picking. If you like Nintendo 64, good for you.
That's what the
Bug
retro community
Snacks.
is for.
Hey, Bug Snacks is coming to the Switch, which means you know what we're going to have to hear next week when he comes back.
He gets points.
I told
He
you
gets
so.
the-
Well, listen, I could say this because he's not here. When you make the most vague, general predictions, he might as well just all of them may be like Nintendo's going to
He
release
called out
something.
Bug Snacks directly.
He did call out Bug Snacks, but it's like Nintendo's going to do something that they're going to breathe air. Oh, I got points, guys.
Talking
Yeah.
about Bug Snacks specifically, he did call that one specifically.
To be fair, everyone's talking about Bug Snacks. It's a bug and it's a snack.
Yes.
Yep.
I still never got
And
around
some-
to playing that game.
Well, you don't have to. Just listen to the song. The song's way better than the game. But this is coming out on April 28th on the Switch, also on Xbox Game Pass. So if you got Game Pass, guess what? You don't have to pay for it again. But it does include the brand new free Isle of Big Snacks DLC. So there's that. I have this on PS5. I'll be playing it there. I really do wish that it had come out day and date on Switch because that's where I would have preferred. It's not an overly graphically taxing game. I will say this, I don't
At least this
it
is
was
day
not
and
my
date with the
favorite game.
DLC.
Okay, it was not my favorite game, but it's because I really think it's because I expected something else than what we got with it. Okay.
Yeah.
But it's fantastic. It's very whimsical. The food, the Bug Snacks are great. It's like if you play this game, it's kind of like excuse me, it's like Pokemon, but they're food. And they all say their names. So there's this burger beetle thing that's called a bunger. And it runs around, it's like bunger, 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 and so you're just laughing about it all the
Sounds
time.
like a good time.
And
Sounds like a
then
good
you're
time for
trying to
kids.
you have to I won't say you do fight some Bug Snacks, but you don't have to fight them. You got to figure them out. So you have to watch them and you have to scan them and figure out how to do stuff. So I wasn't into that. And then you got the whole thing.
Alchemy says hi, by the way.
I want who?
Alchemy,
Oh yeah.
the Pokemon that's literally made out of cream that is and a
Yeah.
consumable.
Alchemy. It's anyway. This is not like super part of the story, but like there's this thing where like if they eat bug snacks, if the inhabitants of the island eat bug snacks, like parts of their body become a snack.
Mm-hmm.
And that was weird. That was a big like
So
I fed this thing that looked like a reject Muppet, a curly
this could
fry.
turn dark really quick.
And
I think I'll stop right there.
And like I fed this thing that looked like a reject Muppet some curly fries, and its legs turned into curly fries, and it was like, "Yay, I'm a bug snack!" And I was like, "This is weird." Anyway, my son played it and beat it. He loved it. It was fantastic. So
how big of a game is it? How long?
I want to say let's go over to how long to beats, because I don't know. I want to say like less than 10 hours.
That's what I was thinking. If that's the case, I might give it a go.
But now here's the thing.
But
we'll 7.5
see.
hours for the main story, completionist at 13 hours. The voice acting is incredible in this game. And there's tons of stuff to explore and find, and I probably will get back into it. In fact, I'll probably buy it on Switch, even though I already have it and would get the DLC for free. Hey, guess what's still not on Switch? Fall Guys. There you go. Nobody cares anymore.
That hype is deflated.
No, it's gone. It's gone. It's about as gone as Hatch Tales. So anyway, also coming out real soon is DLC for Wingspan, which is one of my favorite board games of all time about bird watching and bird breeding and bird collecting. It does not sound good, but then you need to play it. Okay. This game is $20 on the Switch. If you love, it's very European. There's no like combat or anything. Like it's a Euro game. So a lot of Euro games sound like they don't have combat. It's about competing for points or victory points. In this one, like you are placing birds to get points to trigger chain reactions down the row and get like tons of stuff to happen that benefits you. And so a European expansion is coming out for this. It says discover new cards featuring beautiful, charming birds, learn new strategies, and use the newest bird powers to win. This is out on May 5th, and it's a slam dunk for me. It will come out. I will have it immediately. Yes, you can use your eagle powers. But anyway, it's so much fun. Seriously. If you don't believe me, it probably won't convince you, but you can go and check out our YouTube channel. I did a playthrough of a game on there, and y'all, the strategy gets insane. And it's beautiful. It's like the art in the game is so beautiful. It just go, please go check it out. Take my word for it. Wingspan is fantastic.
Check it out or add it to your wish list.
Yep. Because it will probably go down. It did go down in price around Christmas time last year. So yeah, there you go. I don't know how to say the name of this game. I think it's a Yuden Chronicle Rising. This is a side-scrolling action RPG that is similar in vein to ActRaiser or Sakuna of Rice and Ruin, which means there's town building elements. This is out on May 10th for $15. It's a spinoff to the Ayuden Chronicle 100 Heroes, which is a Kickstarter game that it doesn't launch until 2023. So they're going to put out another game in its place. I don't know.
Didn't
I don't know how that worked out.
Ish game do that too?
Okay.
Like,
Yeah. Bloodstained did that.
Yeah.
They put out like the NES version. This is one I'm really interested in. Live Alive pre-order is now live. It's $50, which I think may be too much. I think it probably should have been $39.99 because I don't know. Maybe the game's really long. I don't know. 7 different stories featuring different protagonists, time periods, and gameplay styles await. Experience these tales in any order you choose, which is really interesting. It's also in HD 2D style, like what's that game?
Octopath and
Thank you. Triangle Strategy. Did any of y'all play Triangle Strategy, by the way? Because I see people like all the time, like, this is my game of the year. This is so good. This is
Blanco did, and he had mixed feelings.
Yeah, I watched others play it and them having a good time with it, and I'm happy for them. So because it seems like a really good game, and I just knew I would not have the time for that. In-depth
what I would
game.
really love to see them remake, and somebody just filed for the trademark of this again, is like Ogre Battle or Ogre Tactics on the Switch in that HD 2D style would be amazing.
Yeah, maybe I think Stadia has that or had a new game of that over there. Hopefully their game will make its way over the consoles.
Listen, I know you listen to our podcast religiously. Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster needs to come to Switch.
Yes.
If people are not on the fence or will at least want to know for more information, Nintendo has been putting out videos. I think today was the second video.
All the time.
Yes.
There was a video about one of the timelines, and yesterday was the one from a different timeline. So we'll probably see the other 5 coming up within the next week.
Here's the thing. Can I tell you guys, just as an aside, how like the disappointment I felt this weekend trying to figure out how to play Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster with a controller?
Yeah.
Yes.
Because here's the deal. I have a Backbone controller, and you cannot use it for that game. It does not work. There are no controller-based input. So I thought to myself, it's on Steam. I'll just buy them on Steam and play them, because now with a new update to the Backbone app, you can plug the Backbone, like you can plug a lightning cord into the bottom of the Backbone, and you can plug it into your PC or Mac, and it works as a controller, like automatically. So,
that's awesome.
Which is really cool. You don't even have to have your phone inserted in it. You can play it hollow because you're powering it with the lightning cord. So I was like, yes, I can play Final Fantasy Pixel Remaster. I go to download it. It's PC only. They don't even have a Mac version of it.
Oh, man. They just don't want you to play it.
Are you freaking kidding me?
Yeah,
this is not hard.
Both you and Jesse are like, here's Square, take our money.
This is not hard.
Here, take our money, and they don't want it.
I did buy the Steam version and have never gotten around to playing them.
Look, here's the deal. Here's how you do it. It's not hard. You put all 6 games on a Switch cartridge, which is more than enough to handle all of these games. You put them on a cartridge, you sell it for $60, and you make bank.
I speculated that
it'll sell for a lot more than that. I think I paid $75 as the sale price.
Then
I
sell it for
speculated last year
$75.
when they announced it that they're working out the kinks, and that's why they brought it out on mobile and PC
the kinks
first.
in what?
In whatever they're doing to repurpose it. And
okay, well, all I'm going to say is this.
They've never written a Switch game before.
Pixel Remaster at this point has almost been out a year.
Yep.
And every review, for every good review on the iTunes, on the App Store, for every good review, there's 2 more that says 1 star, no controller support. Well, now there's more good reviews because people go on there and review. I don't see what people are talking about. Touchscreen works great. No, it doesn't. Playing games on a touchscreen, unless they're a puzzle game, sucks. I don't want to control people by sliding my finger around on a piece of glass.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. Give me a D-pad. Give me some buttons. Put this on Switch, and I'll buy it.
Yes.
Blech.
In regards to Live Alive, I'm looking forward to this actually more.
Yes.
More so.
July 22nd.
So I actually, because of Breath of the Wild 2 not coming out, I have a new game, a new date I'm shooting for to finish Breath of the Wild, which is before July 22nd. Yes, it is.
Okay.
Because this game will be the next thing that'll take my time playing.
I'm telling you guys, like, I remember reading about this game in an old magazine, like sometime in the like after the Super Nintendo had released. It was on the Super NES or Super Famicom. I remember reading about this game. It may have been Nintendo Power. and just like going, this is awesome. There's 7 different characters that they need this. And it was like, I think at the time they were talking about localizing it then. And then it just disappeared. I'm so glad this game is coming out over here.
So I don't know anything about this game. I haven't researched or read any spoilers for it. I'm hoping that it does what Octopath Traveler didn't do, where Octopath had eight characters that did each character had their own storyline, but the plots never meshed or merged into some big conclusion.
Apparently this is supposed to.
That's what I'm hoping for.
Yeah. Per Schneider said it does, because I asked him he was excited about this. He did say that they do merge the stories.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to a 2D-esque JRPG where there's not some stupid, you got to break their guard, you've got to brave, or you've got to default. Just let me do combat.
Yeah.
Get rid of all that other stuff.
Dragon Quest IV did that type of story well, where it's called Chapters of the Chosen. So there's literally chapter 1, you play with this small party. Chapter 2, you play with a different party. Chapter 3 with a different party. And at the end, all those parties find each other and end game together. And that's a fun game.
I've done the demo for Dragon Quest XI twice and been very much on the fence, like ready to buy it. And I'm not, but I just don't know that I can do like 100-hour RPG or however long it is. Like, that's nuts to me.
You have Game Pass? It's on there.
I did download it on Game Pass. So I'm probably I'm going to do it on there. A couple other releases we want to mention here. Paper Cut Mansion from Thunderful Games has been announced to have a 2022 release date. So that'll come out this year. And Nobody Saves the World dropped today as of this recording on the Switch. And this game, y'all, has done something. It's done something to Justin Mass. It's not what made him sick, but Justin has played over 12 hours of this game.
Because he's sick, he probably had more time to play.
That's true, but he's really into it, and he did a first look over on our YouTube channel. I'm going to talk a little bit more about it when we get to what we've been playing, but it's definitely one I feel like you should have on your radar. And for the next 9 or 10 days, it's like 10% off on the eShop. So if you want to save a bit of money and you're looking to pick this one up, it's there, or it also is on Game Pass. So there you go. That's our news. Let's take a quick break for a word from our sponsor.
All right, fellas. Have you started your spring cleaning yet? The carpets need cleaning, the drapes need dusting, and your lawn needs mowing. Spring has sprung, and the global leaders in below-the-waist grooming have the best tools for cleaning aisle 5 in your pants. Time to clear out your winter bush and join the other 4 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped by going to manscaped.com for 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS. Manscaped has the full package you need for spring cleaning this year. The Performance Package 4.0 is the only tool you need to keep your boys looking and smelling like fresh tulips your partner wants. To start off your spring cleaning, use the Manscaped Lawnmower 4.0 trimmer to get the most precise shave on your hedges. Did we mention it's waterproof as well? No need to worry about watering your grass with this tool. Equipped with a LED light so you know it'll be a major asset to the new shower routine. So essentially, get 20% off free shipping with the code NINDADS at manscaped.com, 20% off plus free shipping with the code NINDADS again at manscaped.com. It's time to throw out your old hygiene habits and upgrade your life. And I know we have too here, where we've been had the opportunity to get some of their products and try it out ourselves and make it a part of our routine. I use the new premium care stuff with the shampoo and the body wash and the deodorant. And I also have the lip balm that they have, which come in handy with the weather changes and all that. How about you guys? What do you guys use again?
The lip balm, the body wash, the shampoo. the crop preserver,
Yes, and
the
that's right. I
and
have
the
those
deodorant.
wipe things. Yeah, those wipes have
And the
been-
deodorant.
that's
It's all
come in
good.
handy. Yes,
And that's one thing I would say, Tim, as you ask about that is just like I think some people hear Manscaped and they go, oh, like I may not use that or I may not do that. But they've gone like beyond the grooming products. They've gone to like self-care, stuff with the shampoo and it smells fantastic. Like it's my favorite shampoo ever.
yes.
So
I love the smell
I
of all that stuff.
highly, highly recommend it.
Yeah, I picked up lip balm. I haven't had a chance to use it yet. I also picked up the plow that you recommended several months ago, and it does that's clean up underneath the beard. It worked out. It worked really nice when I used it.
Yep. I love using that too, although I haven't done it recently, so a little scruffy here. But so not only do they have the stuff for below the belt, they do have a few things to help with up on your face too. So, but not only does Manscaped do that kind of stuff, they also want to help us make us aware of testicular cancer because April is Testicular Cancer Awareness Month. Manscaped has partnered with the Testicular Cancer Society to bring awareness to testicular cancer. Geez, man, that's a hard word to say. Men's health and early cancer detection. Manscaped is committed to raising awareness for the most common form of cancer in men aged 15 to 35, and giving support for fighters, survivors, and families impacted by testicular cancer as part of their We Save Balls initiative. So very important stuff. And again, help them out to help us out because they do support us by going there to manscaped.com, use NINDADS for the code and get 20% off and free shipping. Thanks to our sponsor, Manscaped.
Awesome. Let's talk about some upcoming events. Tim, why don't you let us in on some info about the dinner table?
Of course. Yeah, we got the dinner table coming up tomorrow night, or if you're listening to this tomorrow morning or this morning on the podcast feed, it's tonight. So if you're a Patreon supporter, you get to get in on this. You get the RSVP. It's in our Discord. It's under the events, right at the beginning of the top of the menu of our page under events. You can join in and say you're interested in, and then come join us at 10 p.m. Eastern time. And we just chit chat about whatever. We just get together and talk about movies, TV shows, games, what was in the news that's interesting everybody. And just have a good time. And then we even talk about important stuff, anything that anybody needs to get off their chest, they come in and talk about it there. And that is why I don't record it anymore too. So, because sometimes we get into some personal stuff that everybody probably didn't feel comfortable in getting posted in a podcast. So it's no longer shared that way. So, however, I will say this. We are talking about doing a special one-off or several one-off shows of the dinner table. So stay tuned for that when we do have some dinner tables that are recorded. They won't be live or anything like that, but they'll be recorded and they'll be pretty cool. So, but that's the dinner table every third Friday of every month. And that's coming up tonight.
Awesome. Now it's time for everyone's favorite part of the show, Jesse's PokéMinute.
Pika, pika, Pikachu!
I hate you all.
Yeah, no Robo Jesse this week. I didn't have a chance to get that going. But for
Didn't
Pokemon
charge
Go
him
updates
up this week.
Yeah, he's still on the charger. In Pokemon Go, Sustainability Week goes from April 20th at 10 a.m. through April 25th at 8 p.m. local time. Oranguru, the Sage Pokemon, makes his Pokemon Go debut. Cherubi will be shining for the first time. And timed research during the event will require trainers to walk 1 kilometer to earn an encounter with Cherubi. Niantic will plant a tree up to 100,000 for each trainer who walks at least 5 kilometers during Community Day, which is that Sunday during, or it's a Saturday during this event. Sunday is Easter, so it's not going to do an event there. And finally, there will be a collection challenge part of it will require you use a mossy lure at a Pokestop to collect the Gloom and Weeping Bell. So if you're playing and you can't find them in the wild, that's why you got to use a mossy lure for that. I think they will give you a free one in a free event gift. So look at the shop for that. That's everything I have this week.
That was almost a minute.
Yay!
For real. Let's talk about what we've been playing. Jesse, we're actually going to throw back here and start with you because I've seen that you just have one game this week, but this is a game you've actually been getting some questions about because people knew that you had it. So why don't you tell us what you've been playing?
Okay, so I haven't gotten far into it. I'm maybe an hour in still, but I've been playing Chrono Cross, the Radical Dreamers edition. I have not done the Radical Dreamers part of it yet, so I don't know anything about that. But, I played like the first hour of Chrono Cross, and, I played the original PS1 version maybe like 15 or 20 minutes. So I know I've gotten past that part, but I've just barely got to like when the first big plot twist happens. And so I don't know anything after that. But, this is a game I'm wanting to continue. I just haven't had a lot of gaming time in the last few weeks. But that's what I've been playing. Do you know what these questions are, or are you just saying that people's been talking about?
Well, I think they've just been asking about what your impressions of the game are, and if you had compared it to the original Chrono Cross, because there's actually been quite a bit of chatter online about how this is not really that big of an upgraded release.
Yeah, I can't speak for. It's been like 15 years or so since I played the PS1, and I tried the PS1 version, so I can't compare that. The battle system at first is really confusing. It doesn't explain anything, so you just kind of have to figure it out. So, I know you have to do melee attacks first, which fills up these gauges. It's like 3 rows of gauges that can have different number of columns in each row. No idea what they mean. But once I have them filled, I can use an elemental attack. I think, and in fact, the very first scene, they kind of throw at what they did in Dragon Quest VI at you. They play a scene that's probably later on in the game for 15 or 20 minutes, and then you get sucked back into whatever is considered current. So I'll probably later on in the game eventually get to that point again. But your hit points are higher, you have more of those status bars in that opening act than you do when the game actually really starts. So it's kind of off-putting. And Nintendo asked the colored circles.
Man, he took away my powers.
I don't know what he has the colored circles. I'm not sure what he's referring to. I know there's something. Excuse me. There are some ovals and circles shown in the upper left corner. I have no idea what that means. And so I did a live stream with like the first 45 minutes, and then someone else who got the review code for this also. Dan did about a 45-minute video so both of them were up on our channel. He actually got farther than I did because I had a hard time catching that stupid bird.
Yeah, so there's definitely two unique views on the game for people to check out.
And we both have very similar comments. We both said, "Ooh, that song's from Chrono Trigger," or "I don't know what the hell is going on."
So if there's not some form of remaster or remake of Chrono Trigger coming, I don't understand why this game got released before Chrono Trigger on modern systems.
I agree with you. Yeah, it looks like, and I made this comment in the video, I think they're the exact same models. I don't think they they touch the models at all. Definitely when it gets to the pre-rendered stuff, it looks the same. You can,
Yeah.
but the text they use, like higher resolution textures and a little bit better quality textures, but the models and the rigging is still the same. The walking is really stiff. It looks like a PS1 game.
Yeah. I did play through this game back in the day on PS1, and I prefer to never play through it again. Yeah. It was not my favorite RPG. I don't think it did any justice to the Chrono Trigger legacy. It's just not great.
It does have additional features, like you can turn on auto battle, which I didn't even notice that was a thing. I noticed it from Dan's video. There's a fast forward button, which I did trigger accidentally, and it's meant to be done in battle, not when you're walking. When you're doing it in walking, you're uncontrollable. There's a slow motion, of which I don't know why you'd want to use that. Maybe something later happens where it comes in useful. But and you can also shut off random battles.
So
you can just go through the game and never level up. It's right. Totally fine.
Sure.
Okay.
Nothing wrong with that.
How I used to play RPGs. I would fight to the thing, and I would die a bunch of times, and then I would like go buy a bunch of potions and stuff and stock up enough to scrape through the fight and then go to the next thing. And yeah, there's no grinding.
But at least there's no random battles that I know, at least not yet. All the battles I did, I was able to see them on the map, and like again, I mentioned there was this bird you have to just take 3 of them out, and they will flee from you. So you have to like literally set up traps for them, or in one case you have to block a path so the bird gets stuck in the tunnel, and you can get him. One, he's running in a circle, and you just have to eventually run faster than it and catch it.
Square Enix love those like multiple blocking path mini games in the PS1 era. Like there's the battle scene in Final Fantasy VII, and then there's this, and then in Final Fantasy 3 or 6, if you want to call it that, there was the battle. Like you have to move multiple units across different pieces of the map, and yeah, they don't ever really work that great. At least for me.
I did like in Final Fantasy VI how you can sometimes the scenes where you did split up your group. That mainly because you weren't limited to just 4 or those 4 characters. You could have 16 characters on the field. You just can't control more than 4 at a time. Yeah,
it also lets you know who you spent no time leveling up.
Mog and Gao.
Yep. Mog. He just sits there and does nothing the entire game. And at the end, they're like, hey, by the way, you've got to use him, and you're fighting level 70 enemies, and he's level 12. Have fun.
Right.
Because he has to complete this integral part of the game that you can't get through. Now using him. Terrible.
That's funny.
Yeah, so that's what you've been playing, Tim. What have you been playing? I think we know.
I've been playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2. No.
Really?
Yep. It's not coming out until I'm done with that game.
Well, hurry up and finish it.
You're not going to get it.
That's like the beginning of Chrono Cross, when you play a part of the game and then you wake up.
Yes.
And then you really start the game.
Yes. I've been playing Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. In fact, earlier before the show, and before I had to do some work, I watched Andros, one of our pals at Nintendo Pals. He was playing Breath of the Wild, but doing the Master Quest for Master Quest for the Master Sword, or the Master level for the Master Sword, the hardest level, whatever that is for.
The DLC stuff?
Not the DLC. He's getting the Master Sword, going through the trials for the Master Sword, but at the highest level, the hardest level that you can get in Breath of the Wild, which is the Master level?
I think this is DLC. I don't remember this in the main game.
Yeah, because in the DLC, you're powering up the Master Sword, and there's 3 different trials that you have to go through. And
All right,
there's
so I guess it is the
a
DLC.
easy, medium, and hard.
Yeah, he was doing the master level of that. So in the video, and what I learned in that while he was doing that was because you have to have at least, what is it, 12, 13 hearts at least in order to get the master sword.
Yep.
He didn't want to grind that out, so he did the glitch that I didn't know that was there. There's a glitch where you can copy hearts and get more hearts.
I did not know this.
I need to know this.
Yes, I wrote down notes about how to do that because I watched a person do it on a video.
Okay.
So yeah, I got notes that I did
We'll share those later.
right here. Here's my notes if you're watching.
Ah,
I wrote a bunch of notes step
you
by
have
step.
you
on
have
how to do
adopted
that.
the Krista using a notebook
Yep,
for different games.
Oh, I've been doing that too. So yeah,
I just always
it
try
wasn't
to
adopted.
remember.
It's something I've been doing.
See, when I do notes, it's on graph paper.
Yeah, this is on dot paper. These are dots. You couldn't see the dots. So, but it's also.
I need to step
anyways.
my game up because I'm just trying to remember it all and I can't.
Yeah, I know I can't.
For the audio listeners, I showed a picture of my inscription map that I drew that I shared with Tim.
Which, yeah, you took a picture of and you sent it, and it helped me a lot when I was doing Act 2. So, or was Act 3? Sorry, Act 3. So that helped me out a lot because it was like, okay, I'm gonna go this way. I know. I didn't have to waste time just like aimlessly wandering in that area. So, but anyways, yes. So I learned about that trick and I got to try it before I had to work, and it works. The trick, the glitch. So I took 5 hearts and gave it to this stone at I'm really bad with names, so forgive me, but the village where you buy your house, right? In Breath of the Wild, there's that village where you have to you can go buy your own house.
Oh yeah. I know which one you're talking about, but I can't.
Hateno Village.
Hateno Village.
Yeah, Hateno Village.
Whatever.
There you got there's a stone there where you can trade with that stone. Basically, you can swap whether you want hearts or stamina with it. That's what it was built for. You could trade it in, and then you got to buy them back. But you can buy back if you like trade in your hearts. You get 100 rupees for it, and then you got to buy them back for 120 rupees though. But when you buy them back, you can ask for it back as a heart, like you sold it, or as stamina. So you can actually change if you want more stamina or more hearts. That's the reason why it was there. There's a glitch there where if you do certain things after trading them in and buying them back and then going to the shrine that's nearby and doing some camera tricks and then reloading the save you saved when you bought those hearts back, you can rebuy those same hearts even though you already bought them back. And then that's how you duplicate them. So I now have 15 hearts, so I can go and get the Master Sword if I want without having to go grind out the other shrines.
Peter.
So now now I'm down to the contemplating whether I want to just bulk up and have all 20 hearts right off the bat while I'm going through the rest of the game, or build up my stamina.
What's going to happen if you max out your hearts and your stamina and then you
go trade in
orbs?
Yeah,
you're going to break your game.
Probably. So, but that's why I'm debating. I'm like, I was able to do pretty good with what hearts I had. I think I had 10, and I traded in 5 and bought back 5, and then was able to duplicate 5. So that's why I got 15. But I think I'm going to leave it at that because I just wanted to get that out of the way and then go about my business. I was able to unlock 2 more parts of the map, 3 since the last time I posted about it. I think it was 2 or 3 parts. No, 2 parts. I beat the second Divine Beast. I think it's the last time I talked to you guys. So I'm on a roll. I'm getting through it. I got 2 more Divine Beasts to do. I got to go get the Master Sword. Unlock, I think, a couple more parts of the map. And Yep, I'm getting closer. Like I said, my goal is to get done now before July, mid-July, so I can get ready for live alive.
I mean, it would make much more sense if it was live alive, because you're living alive,
Right.
a life. But no, they want to call it live alive.
Live alive.
Which then sounds like a tangy juice drink from the 80s that is no longer produced. Five Alive.
Yes.
And I know all of us are old enough here to remember Five Alive.
I don't think that was available where I was. I've never heard of this.
Jesse, you go Google it now. Five Alive.
But that's what
I'm
I've been
serious.
playing. Marty, what you been playing?
I have been playing Nobody Saves the World. It came out today. Justin's also been playing this, and I love and hate this game. And it's exactly what my son said earlier, because he started a file as well. So here's what I love about this game. I love the art style. It's very Adventure Time-ish, kind of
almost
a little bit Binding of Isaac-ish. So I like that.
I could see that.
The humor in the game is on point, as is the music. I love both of those things. I love the different forms that you're able to turn into. There's like maybe 40 or 50 forms, I think, throughout the game. Basically, if you're not familiar with the game, the concept is you wake up in this strange world and you're like a blank white NPC with like hollow eyes. And as you level up and do things for people, you get different forms that you can turn into. Your first form is a rat, which then quickly becomes the ability to turn into either a guard or a ranger, which then goes to a slug or a horse. And there's all these ones that you see coming, and they all have like different things that they can do. And the only thing, like, so, and I almost like, it's another thing I really like about this game is it's roguelike, meaning the dungeons that you go into change every time you go into them. If you die, you're going to come back. That dungeon's going to be different. The objective is going to be the same. The outcome is going to be the same, but the layout's going to be different. And it's a little like, I didn't know how to describe this any other way, but this one, like it's a little Diablo-esque in that, like, you start out with one attack and then you get different attacks that are mapped to different buttons. So only, like, you can't change it, I don't think. But then, like, there's one, like, each attack kind of stacks on each other. So, like, as the rat, you have bite, and bite, when you bite an enemy so many times, it inflicts poison. And then there's an upgraded attack called consume, which once you use poison, it hits harder if the enemy is poisoned. So there's this whole strategy to, like, you know, using all these things. And there's things like for the guard, when you get below 30% health, he gets a buff for his attack and just goes insane. And it's a lot of fun. I'm having a lot of fun just like exploring the world and everything. Here's my con. A lot of the attacks are very close to your character's body. And there's a lot of enemies that have range and you don't.
Oh,
so, like, you have to get up right next to them to hit them. And then, so you're getting hit all this stuff. And there's no dodge. There's no dodge roll. There's no shield, at least that I've found in the forms that I have. It's just, you got to tough it out.
Well, at least the consume does heal you a bit.
Yes, it does. It does. And so a lot of these things are bit like you have health and you have mana. And so a lot, like, you level up by doing mini quests, like mini challenges. And so there's overall challenges for your character. There's purchasable challenges. Like, I bought one earlier that's a never ending challenge that's just based on how many enemies you kill. And so you can get an infinite amount of XP from it. So eventually it's going to pay off. You know, like right now I'm not getting much, but like as it goes, it's going to pay off. And then there's form specific quests. So like with the rat, it's like inflict poison on 25 enemies. That's not going to be the same thing as for the guard. For the ranger, it started out as like the arrows that this form shoots are poison tipped. So it's if you charge up fully and shoot 25 enemies with charged up arrows.
Yeah, they basically force you to learn the moves of every character.
Yes, it's kind of a tutorial, but then those stack. So like you'll get charged 1, charge 2, charge 3, and each of these quests expand on each other, but the rewards that you get from it are really, really good. Like that's how, like, I've played maybe an hour and 30 of the game. I'm like at maybe the first big dungeon, and I'm already level 5, and I've already unlocked like 7 or 8 forms. So
wow,
I think it's worth it. Like right now, it's $24.99 on the eShop right now, but I think there's like a 10% off or 20% off right now, so you can get it for a few bucks less. It looks and plays exactly like it does on Xbox, but I would say if you have an Xbox, it's available on Game Pass. So
Justin says he's level 22.
Yeah, he's way further than I am. But here's why he's way further than I am. He's had the game for a week. I have been absolutely sucked into Lego Star Wars, the Skywalker Saga. And if you listen to last week's show, I bought it on PS5 over Switch because I was worried about the janglies and the frame rates, which I never worry about, I guess, until a Lego game comes out. I don't. That's so weird. But
gotta have your Legos looking like Legos.
I did pick up a Switch copy because I thought there may be some people who want some impressions of this. I will say this: the best comparison that you can watch on it right now is done by Digital Foundry. They do a 4-way shot with Switch, Xbox Series X, PS5, and PC all together at the same point in the same world, kind of doing the same things. Here's what you'll notice. The Switch version runs well, but there's obviously like a sacrifice in quality, right? It doesn't even really run at 1080p. So I think 720 is the top that you get out of it. The Switch version seems a little bit like more washed out or like it's too bright. There's like not enough contour and shading, which that can be expected. But I will say that if you're sacrificing that for the actual portability part of it, I like the Switch version. It runs extremely well. There's no there is a little there. Like I did notice, like even in the opening movie, there was a little bit of jerkiness in the video, like the teaser video that plays before the title screen. But I haven't really noticed any of that like in actually playing. So that's really what matters. But if you're looking for the best looking version of the game, that's PS5. It really is. It's running at 4K 60 frames per second. So it looks fantastic on the PS5. But for the fact that they packed 9 Lego games, or if you may just want to call it one game because that's what it is, but that much content into the Switch version and still had it play well, I think it's a huge contender for, I mean, there's nothing that I would say, oh, it's terrible, stay away, right? So I'm enjoying it. What I'm actually doing is like my wife and I will play it on PS5, and this is so stupid, but I can't stand the split screen. Like in past Lego games, like if you got far enough away from each other, it would draw a line and it would split the screen then.
Yeah.
And this one, it's split all the time. And I feel like I'm missing stuff. Okay. Even if you're standing right next to each other, the screen does not expand. It's split screen at all times.
Ew.
I want to play this full screen, so I'm going to do that on my Switch.
Gotcha.
And I want to play the split screen, better looking version that will put all of the time in on the PS5 with her, because Lego games are kind of like a love language for her, and that's really the only video game she'll play.
Makes sense.
Also, I'm going to make a note of this. We have been trying to do more gaming as a family. And we decided the other day, like we played Mario Party Superstars, the new one. And my kids were like, we kind of like Super Mario Party better. And I said, okay, that's fine. This week we'll play that. And I wanted to do the river rafting,
Yes.
section because I still haven't beat it. And I'd like to unlock Donkey Kong. So we do the river rafting thing, and we're like, there's like 2 paths left that I haven't gone through the end of them on. We are right there, and the time runs out.
Oh no.
And there's no continuability. There's no like you can rewind and redo this last section and try to do better. There's none of that. And we were really trying.
Yeah.
And listen, I'm not going to say this very often, but that pissed me off. I was like, this is stupid design. It's terrible. It was like at the end, you've spent 30 minutes playing this game, right?
Right.
Because it's hugely long. I mean, there's 5 sections. You're having to stop and pop balloons and play mini games all the time and do all this stuff. You get to the end of this 30-minute section and you have literally nothing to show for it.
Right.
It just left a sour taste in my mouth. And there's no way I'm going to play that game with 3 CPUs and try to do it on my own. I'm not doing it. So I guess Donkey Kong will just stay locked. I want to understand if they put Donkey Kong behind a paywall. Okay, you can only spend the points you get from the river rafting game, and you'll have to get this many to pay for him and unlock him. Right?
Yes.
You could at least
that would make
grind
more
that
sense.
out.
Huh?
You could at least, if it was that way, you could at least grind it out.
Exactly.
You don't have to
Exactly.
do it
And
in
I would be
one
okay
shot.
with that. Like, I feel at this point, like you have to be like some kind of like river rafting Jesus to do it. Like, it's like, I don't get it. Because we got to the end and it was like, there is absolutely no way that we're going to make it through this section with this, and there was nothing that could save us. Like the games were, you get 30 or 40 seconds, but then it was like, and here's the deal. Like it's Mario Party, right? That's fine. But you're playing Mario Party with your teenage kids and your wife who never plays video games. So at one point, she's like, this game's not controlling right. She's playing the penguin chase game, we're doing the penguin chase where you're trying to corral them all and put them in the pen. And she's like, I'm pushing up and I'm moving to the left. And I look and she's holding her Joy-Con like this straight up. And I'm like, you got to turn it horizontal, babe. Well, I feel stupid. It was.
So what
I don't
she
know.
thought was up, she was actually pushing left or something like
Yep.
that?
Yep. So she was just running up. She was just slammed up against the wall. Anyway. So, yeah.
Well,
I don't know that we'll play.
I could see why she would do that,
Yep.
Wii remote controls.
Because all the time in that rafting game, you're holding it straight up so you can row, right?
Oh, okay. See.
And then there's and you've got to do so you get the extra seconds. And I know it's not supposed to be like just a cakewalk or whatever, but come on. The game's 4 years old and we still haven't unlocked everything in it. So yeah, that's what we've been playing. I don't know that we'll play Super Mario Party again ever.
That's
And with that being said, let's turn on the community spotlight, shall we? Tim, why don't you bring us up to date on what's going on the Nintendo Dads family of podcasts?
Of course. Basically, it's we have our 3 shows that we have along with ours and our family of podcasts. We've got Retro Logic, Dad's After Dark Show, and Game Pass News. So if you're into retro games, you go to the Retro Logic guys, and they talk. There's Dan and John and Sam there. They talk about the latest retro and modern gaming discussions there. And they're currently in round 3 of their controller wars bracket. So you can go follow them on Twitter, or hit us up if you need to connect with that. So you can go vote in their controller wars bracket, which is a lot.
That's
of fun.
been fun.
Yes.
I'm still upset that the Ouya controller beat the Intellivision controller.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
That's just wrong.
Dads After Dark is off, so the Dads After Dark show is doing the booty bracket still, as Marty mentioned earlier. They're in round 3, or not round 3, but down to the last 3, which Samus is in. And if you haven't voted in this round, go vote for Samus. I don't care who else is there, just go vote for Samus. So, but listen to Drew and John and Sadie, of course, talk about video games, TV, lawn care, dirty jokes, and more, of course, with them. And go check them out. They're on YouTube as well. And you can go check out some of John's 30-second reviews, which are really cool. He does an excellent job at those. So go check those out. And then Game Pass news with Nick and Sean. They go over the latest scoop on games available on Game Pass, what to look out for, good or bad, which is always beneficial, especially when they drop a lot of games in Game Pass. So go check them out. Game Pass news.
Awesome. Let's get into some questions from the community and some comments. The first thing we want to bring up is from Scott the Geek, and he sent us an email sharing with us, asking this question: what if you could have the Switch Pro treatment for all existing games right now for under $100? And to answer his question, he lets us know about a dongle or a device called the Marseille M Classic, which is an HDMI dongle that upscales your Nintendo Switch. And he says that even on a 1080p TV, the difference was noticeable. So I'd presume that it'd be even more dramatic on a 4K TV. And this device is out there again for about $100. And they actually have a full line of these. I'd originally heard about the M Classic in reference to the GameCube. And so there's several different versions, I think, of this out here. But we just wanted to let you know about it in case there's some of you out there that may want to try it. That's Marseille. That's Marseille, or Marseille M Classic. So, or you could just Google M Classic and it pops up. So there's that. Thanks for the tip, Scott the Geek. We appreciate you. Questions from the chat. Nixus asks us.
Before we move on, I wanted to comment here.
Okay.
I think my big concern is how much latency would that add? Some games latency doesn't matter. Some games it greatly does.
It does. Yeah. So what I've read about this, Jesse, is there's actually 3 settings. There's a low, a high, a medium, and a high. As like how much do you want it to upscale? So you actually change that on the device itself. There's a button that you push, and there's an LED light that changes to show which one it is.
Okay. So at least
it may be that you're able to, lower it if you need to, or raise it. So be pretty cool. I would like to see one in person before I make a purchase.
Yeah,
I'm not discounting Scott's summation. It's just that for me, I'm not like a big, I say this after I've talked about Star Wars. I'm not a big frame rate guy. I'm not a big upscale, like a big thing guy. Like, can it make my GameCube look HD? Then cool. Yeah, I'm okay with that. Because it looks like garbage on my big screen TV.
Yeah, I remember seeing it on like Facebook when it was newer, just ads all over the place for it. And I'm like, okay, I don't really care. But yeah, it'd be interesting, if someone's asking how much this is, I did a Google search for it to remind myself what this even was, and it seemed to vary between $90 and $95 depending on where you buy it from. Yeah.
And speaking of devices, I wanted to mention this. our good friends over at Genki have a new set of headphones that are coming out that are supposed to be quote unquote AirPod killers because when they connect to your Switch or connect to any device, they allow 2 streams of audio to come in at once.
Yeah, I backed those immediately because of that. Because I've been waiting for true wireless earbuds that could do that.
And one thing
like my Steel Series does, but with my Steel Series, it's Bluetooth and wired to do the dual sound.
This is 2 Bluetooth
This is
streams.
2 Bluetooths. So
and another thing too that with that,
I saw the price tag for those, and I'm like, I think I'll pass on these.
Yeah, with that, they also announced and are adding to that a brand new version of the Covert Dock, which they're calling the Covert Dock Lite or Mini, and I'm interested in that. There's several improvements that they've been able to make that they've had to be smart because of the chip shortage, which has actually helped them innovate. I think it's really cool.
Yep.
I will probably be picking one of those up.
They also removed the USB-A plug in it to help save space.
Removing USB-A is always an improvement at this point. Anixis
unless
says
you're planning
this.
on playing it Among Us.
That's true. Anixis asks this. I wanted to know if the NDADs were going to discuss 2D and top D. It's a neat concept and wanted to see what the NDADs think or / thought about it. I didn't even know what this is or was until I went and Googled it after he asked this question. It's actually a game that released on Nintendo Switch today called 2D and Top D. The premise is that there's 2 characters.
TOODEE.
Yes. 2D. It's like 2D and Top D. That's how I'm going to say it. So in the game, you play as 2D until like there's a jump or something that you can't do. And you switch into Top D mode, which turns you into another character that can then manipulate the environment so that 2D can progress. And it becomes a top-down, like almost Zelda-esque isometric view. I think it's brilliant. And I'm immediately going to go buy this game.
Yeah, I didn't hear about this game either. That's cool. I'm looking at it right now on the Nintendo page. Very, very cool. In fact,
you definitely need to check out a video of it to see it in action so you can kind of understand what's going on. But it'd be great too. Tim, does it say if it's co-op or not?
It says single system 1 to 2 player. So
okay, so one player can be one and one. I like that.
It is local multiplayer.
Maybe a good game with the kids, or maybe a good Extra Life game. Be interesting. I might have to check this game out. Thank you for bringing it to our attention, Anixis.
I'm going to put the link in our chat here. So
go check that out. From the Discord, here are quite a few questions, and we'll get to something else here in a minute from Patreon. But Andros of Nintendo Pals asked a brilliant question last week when Kit and Krista were on about what were some of the weirdest or worst comments that you've received on something you made, like a video or social media post or podcast review, DM, etc. He asked that to them, but this week he turns the question to us and wants to know if there's been any of that for us. And his follow-up question is, has there ever been anything you wanted to reply to with a comeback but decided not to? What would your reply have been? Tim, I'm going to let you go first.
Comments, but I did see one once that basically said that, I have a hard time speaking what I want to speak. And yeah, that's not wrong. I've never been a good speaker, but I still like to talk about Nintendo and video games and other things I like. So, I never said that I'm great. I would never do this for money because no one would ever hire me for this. But I like doing this, so we do it for the way we do it.
Yeah.
I can't think of anything right now.
I'm going to I'm gonna throw one out here that we got a year ago. You ready for this one?
Go for it.
No,
We're
go ahead.
gonna air some. I'm actually on the reviews of our podcast on iTunes, so
Okay.
anybody can go see these. So I'm not like, and I'm not going to share names, but this one was, the title of it was, they should rename this Canada Greater Than America Cast. Says it's sad so many video game podcasters feel the need to trash America. If you love Canada, cool, start a different podcast so the rest of us can listen to gaming news and opinions while you wait in line for free healthcare.
Okay.
And then there was another one here about that time that said they broke something good. Listened for years, but after being frustrated for months of having multiple shows shoved into one subscription, I gave up. I wish they would split After Dark, Animal Crossing, and the dinner shows into separate podcasts. It's called the skip button, my dude. There you go. But
they are their own podcasts now.
yep. So we took this guy's advice. Hopefully he comes back and listens. My other favorite one was the one that we got right after I started being on the show, that basically said, yeah, here it is. 4 years ago, used to be my second favorite podcast. The new guy is terrible. His voice is so grating and he constantly interrupts. He's wrong about stuff unless he's looking it up online at the moment and pretends to be an expert on things. Awesome. Love it. Yeah.
Good times. Good times.
4 years ago, I'm still here.
Yeah.
Sorry I ruined your podcast, dude. Sucks to suck.
You know, I haven't even looked at the podcast feedback. I'm afraid to now.
Here's what I do. Here's what I do with this. Here's what we do with this. To answer Andros's question. I print it out, and the next time I take a poop, no, I don't do that. No. I would never do that. It would hurt. That's paper. That's so sharp edges. I'm not going to sit here and lie that I would and tell you that it doesn't get to me at times. That comment about my voice in particular hurt, and it has caused me a lot of doubts over the years because I already don't like hearing what I sound like. And I know that, like, for a lot of people that probably listen to this podcast, like, maybe you don't hear a Southern voice a lot of times. And that's tragic. Number one, that you don't hear a Southern voice.
Did you see what Ebicel said about, he said, I bet Mason wrote that one after you kicked DK out of the list.
I bet he did. But yeah, so like I did for a time, like I was very self-conscious about how I sounded on a recording. And then I realized that people still listen and they still back the podcast on Patreon and they do all that. And yeah, it's one guy.
Yeah, we're not going to make everybody happy, of course. So
right?
Yeah.
Right. Well, listen, there's probably a ton of people we've ticked off over the years, and that's okay.
Right. Yeah,
we are not everyone's cup of tea.
I can't remember any weird or worse comments that we received or anything like what you read, but towards me or anything like that. If anything, I'm sure I might sound like a smart ass coming off to people in our Discord because I keep trying to tell people to use the right channels.
You did it to me today.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to maintain control.
I know you are. You listen. You are the Garland in our chaos. And I appreciate that.
I'm truly not trying to call out people or anything like that. I try to have fun with it, and I think that I have to watch how I do that because it might look like I'm trying to make fun of somebody. So I'm trying to now either I'll talk to you off to the side or something like that, but about trying to do something. But yeah, that's Discord has been crazy the past.
I love how you're
month or
like,
two.
and then we had to pull Marty aside and have a conversation.
No, it wasn't that.
You can't post that in the junk drawer, Marty. It goes in the NINDADS podcast channel. And so I moved it. And this is your third formal warning. Next time the beatings begin.
The write-ups happen.
After that, no more crumble cookie for you.
No more. No, that's where I think I see the most comments, and they're not weird or worse or anything like that. It's just sometimes there's some fun stuff happening in Discord that I see more often than I would.
The thing is that
I guess YouTube. There's some fun stuff in YouTube.
Oh yeah, we get some good stuff in YouTube. Good stuff. I'm putting that in quotes.
But I can't remember them off the top of my head.
The thing is that I'm probably more apt to, if I see something that I think is about you guys, I'm more apt to jump in and be like, no, we're not. No, get out of here. We're not having that crap.
Yeah,
I wouldn't defend myself, but I would defend you guys. That's just, it's what it is. Thanks for the question, Andros. It's a good question.
And Mecca's trying to give me feedback on Discord in our chat right now. It's like, Mecca, there's actually a channel in our Discord for feedback.
Yes, I love it. I love it. That's fantastic. Shy Guy asks us this. He says the Nintendo ninjas go full force. All Nintendo podcasts are forced to shut down. The NDADs stay together but need to rebrand and choose to go a non-gaming route. What is your new podcast about? This is obvious. It's Crumble Cookie. It's Crumble Cookie
people
podcast.
mentioned
Food
that
Dad
one.
in general.
Food Dads.
Food dads, snack dads.
Snack. I like Snack Dads, but it's a little close to our friends, the Snack Network.
Oh yeah,
over there.
Well, we would join forces with them. So
Can we come
part of the snack network? Will be. Snack dads.
I got it. Are you ready? The
Sure.
Nom-Tendo Dads.
There you go. Nom-Tendo dads. Nom.
Nom-Tendo Dads podcast. It's just about things that make us go nom nom nom.
Exactly.
Yep, I love it. Y'all have
Trademark
any
it.
ideas?
Trademark it.
Nom-Tendo Dads.
I'll do a. I could still do the
Tim,
dinner table show.
Tim, that is a shirt. That is a shirt idea right there. Nom-Tendo Dads.
Dads. Yes.
I'm telling you, they're not going to take that one down.
Nom-Tendo dads with all of us just going nom 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 with our favorite snacks. Yes.
Yeah.
For sure. Yep. I'll do one about hats.
Mecha Dragon did. Yeah, Hat Dads. That's a great one. Mecha Dragon has a great series because X Dads, which is, I like that.
Yep.
X Dads reminds me of like the late 90s, early 2000s when everything was extreme.
Yep.
Extreme Dads.
Wow.
Yes.
Or the X Games.
Yes.
Like the X Dads.
X Dads.
What was the
X Dads are coming for you. Let me tell you something, baby. X Dads going to come for you. Come through the screen, hit you in the head with a plunder.
Or it could be like DX.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. What was the WWE group? It was
Generation X. Yeah. In my first year of college, here's a deep dive on Marty's life. In my first year of college, the college I went to did not have classes at all in January. So you got a pretty sizable Christmas break. Like you ended about midway through December, all the way through January. Classes resumed the first Monday in February. However, you could take an extended class. They called it January term, or J term, as you called it during the students called it. So you would finish a 3-hour course or 3 credit hour course in 4 weeks. So you could, there was a limit. You could only take so many classes. So, but I did it a couple times. Got 7 hours out of the way both months. So it was actually really beneficial for me to do it. But they did stuff on campus because there were so few people there. They did stuff on campus that they didn't normally do. So they had a dodgeball tournament. So I gathered up all these people, and here's the point of the story. Our name for our dodgeball team was Preparation X.
Nice.
Yeah, we almost won. They would have had to
Nice.
print the term Preparation X in this conservative school's newspaper, and I was here for it.
Nice.
They probably would have changed it, just to be honest. But that was in the height of the DX era. Everything
Everything had to have an X
you know,
in it.
yeah,
Yes.
absolutely, it was fantastic.
So,
So
Marty,
yeah, that's right.
Can I flip this question for our audience real quick? I want to flip it with a little twist.
Okay.
So for anybody who's listening, I want to hear something a little bit different. Not what new podcast would we do, but if Nintendo Ninjas came and said we could not have the Nintendo Dad's name anymore, what name should we call ourselves? What name would you call us? What would be our new podcast name? That's what I want to hear from all our listeners.
Come up with a new name. So secretly, what we're doing is crowdsourcing our new name. Correct. Let's be.
No, I mean, full disclosure, we've had problems before with the name Nintendo Dads. And that's why we've had trouble with some of our merch.
I swear, if we had $1 for every time somebody said, "Why didn't you call yourselves the Nintendads?"
Yes. Yeah. We can't just take Nintendo or Nintendo out of it, and come up with
Just dads.
how would we brand
Just
ourselves
dad.
out here? Well, somebody's already got that though.
Dadcast.
The dads, they already have that.
It's Preparation X podcast.
And then
There you go.
gaming dad's taken.
Right.
Gaming Dad's taken. That's right, and he needs to keep that. It's a good friend of the show, Gaming Dad, over there.
That's right.
Honestly, can I get my honest answer if I didn't do Nintendo Dads?
Yeah.
Guy in the chat, G Acre says not Nintendo Dads.
That's
not
perfect.
Nintendo Dads podcast.
Not Nintendo.
Seriously though, I would love to do a podcast about pro wrestling. I'm serious. So if there's anybody out there, I don't have any time, but if you want to start one and invite me on every now and then to talk, I'll do it. Seriously.
That's the problem we're having with PlayStation. We have a lot of people who play PlayStation, but they don't have the time. So
Right. Yeah.
they're like, you can invite me on it, but I can't do a podcast.
I can't do another podcast. Mega Dragon with this question says, who saw the Sonic movie? And while we're at it, let's hear those Sonic memories if you have them. Who's the best Sonic character? Tim, you saw it. You're the only one of us who saw Sonic 2.
I saw it.
Which, by the way, was Sonic 2 not the #1 movie in the nation?
Jesse saw it. Yes, it
Oh,
was.
you saw it too. It's
Yeah, I saw
number
it
one. Who would ever have thought those words would come out of your mouth? Sonic the Hedgehog, #1 movie in America.
Or actually, Kit and Krista talked about it on their show that came out earlier today,
Right.
saying there has been 2 Sonic movies in the time that there has not been a Mario movie yet.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah. So what'd you guys think? No spoilers, please, because I'm going to see it very soon.
I liked it.
Yep.
I still would have liked to see what the monstrosity Tails and Knuckles would have looked like, but the current
Right.
models that they went with are good.
Oh,
Yeah, no, it was definitely a fun movie, especially because Sam is a super fan of Sonic. It's one of his favorite characters.
Yeah.
So
I heard of people complaining about the middle section. I didn't think it was that bad. I think it went on.
I have no idea what they were talking about.
I think that section went on a little bit longer than it needed to, but it didn't take the whole thing down like some people.
Yeah, I don't.
made it
I have no
sound
idea
like.
what they were talking about. I enjoyed the movie. That's me. I go into the movie and just be, I'm going in to enjoy it. I don't look for things to nitpick. Nothing. I'll just put it this way: nothing jumped out at me and said, "Oh man," or anything like that. It was just a fun movie for me all the way through, and for Sam and his friend who came along too to watch it. So
Since Marvel has trained me to sit through all the credits, I will tell
Yes.
you there is a mid-credit scene, but there is not a post-credit scene. So once
Correct.
once you get that mid-credit reveal,
You can leave.
It's safe to go.
Thank you, cause I needed to know that.
Yes.
Because I was
Yeah.
literally one of 2 people waiting until the end to see nothing.
Same here. Same here. Wasn't there some
Which
audio?
there
Or
was
am I thinking something else?
there was a post-credit scene at the very end in the first one. That's
Yes.
where we saw Tails for the first time. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to wait.
Yeah, so there's post-credit scene here. Or
So,
mid-credit
okay.
scene.
So who's your favorite Sonic character?
Yeah, I've never played a Sonic game more than the first level, so I really don't know the whole lore. But I I think Amy's kind of a cute character. And was it what's the bat name? Rouge?
Rogue? Rouge?
Rouge?
Yeah, I think it's Rouge.
I've liked them.
Okay. Tim?
I'm a big fan of Shadow the Hedgehog. So
You are the edge lord of the group, aren't you? You love Sonic with guns.
I always like the dark, the dark characters.
Yeah.
So I like the dark, Link. I like the dark Samus, and Shadow is like the darker version of Sonic. So, that's my favorite.
My favorite Sonic character, Mega Man.
That's a good character.
They crossed over in the comics. So
Yep. There you
Mega
go.
Man. No. Favorite Sonic character is, and I have 2. I'm being very specific here. OG Sonic, the chubby hedgehog art version.
Okay.
I think they're calling him Classic Sonic now.
Yeah.
And it is Dr. Robotnik, not Dr. Eggman. It's Robotnik. The movies got it right. Games get it wrong. They still call him Eggman. I will never call him Eggman. He's Dr. Robotnik. That's what he is. Dr. Robotnik.
Okay.
I don't know. This information might be wrong, but I heard that in the original game in Japan, they did call him Eggman, but when it was
They did.
localized, they called him Robotnik. And actually gave him a name.
Dr.
And,
Ivo Robotnik.
Yeah, and then somewhere in the 2000s, they just said, "Oh, screw it," and then it's just Eggman worldwide.
Well, the developer's wrong.
The writer
it may be
of the
their-
canon is wrong.
It may be their creation, but they're wrong. Yeah. I also will say that I enjoyed all of the characters in Sonic Adventure. That was a fun game back in the day. The original Sonic Adventure, not 2, but 1, where you played as 6 different characters. I liked that game.
My Sonic memory is when I actually traded my Super Nintendo for a Genesis because I wanted to try Sonic, because I had a friend. I traded it with my friend. He wanted to try out the Super Nintendo. We both couldn't afford to have multiple systems. Our parents couldn't afford that. And so we swapped systems. And I tried out the Genesis. He tried out the Super Nintendo. We immediately called each other the next day and said, we want our systems back, because he missed his Genesis. I missed my Super Nintendo,
Good for you.
and we got our systems right back. So we just
Oh.
I tried Sonic for a minute and just couldn't grasp the gameplay, because I was already used to Mario games. So, and they play so much differently.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's hard to try to go in with the Mario mentality trying to play a Sonic game. And I'm sure it's the same other way around. If you're playing Sonic games all the time, you know how that goes, and you're trying to play Mario and you're like, this is slow, so I get it. It's hard to go between the two. So, yeah.
So Sonic Adventure is probably one of the most memorable memories I have, because I got the Dreamcast, the day it released, but there were no VMUs. There was a severe shortage of the VMU units. So
Yeah.
there was absolutely no way to save your game. So I played the first part of Sonic Adventure about 3 or 4 times before
Very
I was
familiar
able to
with that.
find one. But the other Sonic memory that I have that I always think back on is Sonic 2 is the first game that I remember having a like actual publicized street date. Came out on Sonic Tuesday, and if you pre-ordered it, you got a
Remember
T-shirt that said Sonic 2, or are you ready for Sonic Tuesday or something like that. And that was one of my favorite shirts. Got made fun of relentlessly for it, but I didn't care.
Yeah.
I love that shirt, and I remember
People just don't know the struggles we had to go through.
Well,
when
I
we were
remember
kids.
I remember getting
playing
out of
video
school
games.
that day and making the drive. It was 30 minutes to the mall to go to Babbage's, which was an old
Babbage's.
electronics
that-
store.
That's a throwback.
Yeah.
Yeah, Babbage's, where I picked up my copy of Sonic 2 and rode home, just anxiously awaiting. That was I want to say it was my 7th grade year or maybe 8th. So there you go.
Have you ever been to a mall where they had all 3 stores, where it was Babbage's, Electronics Boutique, and GameStop?
My
Software, etc.
Yeah.
my mall that had Babbage's and Electronics Boutique,
Yeah.
one on each floor.
Yep.
So
That was crazy times, man. Crazy times.
Babbage's, when it first, I remember when I first discovered it, was focused more on computer games,
Yeah.
on PC games, than Electronics Boutique, and eventually it shifted more to games.
And it's still
just-
Electronics Boutique in Canada.
Yeah, well, it's pretty much GameStop.
Right.
GameStop bought them here.
No, yeah.
And
It still is
they became
GameStop over
GameStop.
there. I want to say, I don't know if Justin would know.
I
but
think,
I think they're going to rebrand it to all GameStops
yeah.
in Canada as well.
So I've got one question for you guys, and this is one that I asked earlier on Twitter, and I will end with this one. And here's the question. It's 2022, and I just added about $400 worth of games to my wish list on the Wii U.
Nice.
What is wrong with me?
You want to get in before you can't get in anymore.
Well,
Yeah,
here's
like
most
credit-
of them, and where the large amount came from is that most of them are Wii games
Right.
that I no longer own, and all of them are $20. So I want
They
to. I
stopped
don't
taking
have
credit cards in May, right?
Yeah, so I don't have Metroid Prime Trilogy. I have both Mario Galaxies, but you know something that was really interesting that I noticed while I was on there is New Super Mario Brothers Wii was never offered on the Virtual Console.
Okay. It's been so long since I looked at that eShop. I don't even know what's there.
You can get New Super Mario Brothers U, but you can't get New Super Mario Brothers Wii, which is I actually wanted that one. Like,
Oh,
I don't think I have a copy of that game.
They don't want
anymore.
you to buy a $20 game when you can buy a $50 game.
Sure, right? So some of them are virtual. I mean, it's all virtual console stuff. It's none of it is like actual like retail software. But I'm gonna have to find out how I can come up with this money because I feel like I need to own these games. Some of them are TurboGrafx games like Bonk, the Bonk's Adventure, Airzonk. It's stuff that I had on the Wii. It's stuff that I have on the Wii Virtual Console, but I want to upgrade it to the Wii U. It's like $1. So,
Right. Yeah.
but then some of it is stuff I've never picked up. And I definitely feel like I need that Metroid. See, if I buy Metroid Prime Trilogy, they will release it for the Switch.
Okay.
Tim's like, okay, what do you need me to, how can we do this?
Yep. Here's my
What are you
credit
waiting
card
for?
number. Let me buy it for you.
Look, it's right here, guys.
Nice.
It's waiting. And this, can I just tell you how big a throwback this is?
My
just to
daughter
pick it up
actually
and play
wanted
a
to
game with
reconnect
it?
too. She wanted to play Guitar Hero and stuff, so she broke it out.
You know, I have all
my
these
son still
old-
has our Wii U in his room.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I have all these old games, you know, that are on there that I forgot that I had quite a bit of, you know, like actual virtual console games and things. And so like, I love my Wii U. I'm going to be sad one day when it breaks down. Doesn't play games anymore.
That's going to be tough.
There's going to be a market. I'm telling you, there's going to be a market for people who can fix the Wii U and the 3DS and can keep them running.
Yeah.
I really do believe that. So, and that's another thing is too, there's some DS games and Game Boy games that are on virtual console on the Wii U that are nowhere else. So I want to get those and
Zero Mission and Fusion.
Yeah, I have those already. So I have my priorities in order, Jesse.
Yeah, there was a moment when I was in the condo, I haven't done it here, where I had the Wii U set up on my nightstand so I could just grab the gamepad next to me and play the games on my gamepad. It wasn't connected to a TV. It was just so I could play in bed on the gamepad. So crazy.
He's gone by, man. He's gone by. And speaking of that, this is the end. You've reached the end of episode 371 of the Nintendo Dads podcast. As we close out tonight, we want to thank you for hanging out with us during the show and for listening. Always thank you for listening. And we're going to say a huge thanks to our Patreon producers, Dave Ernsberger, Solo Something, and Alexander Ocampo, as well as the over 6,100 followers we now and subscribers we have on YouTube and over 1,200 followers on Twitch. 26 of those people also get access to our Discord because they use their Twitch Prime subscription to subscribe to us over on Twitch, and they get that benefit as well. We want to remind you, you can get 20% off your Manscaped order by heading over to manscaped.com and using the code NINDADS, that's NINDADS. It also gets you free shipping. And you can use that same code at Goodr, Goodr, and get some really cool sunglasses or blue light glasses. Check out our merch store over at nintendodads.org/merch, where there's literally nothing right now because they hate us. You can go over to nintendodads.org and check out all kinds of things. Tim, you're freaking me out, man. You got to, please. That thing appeared out of nowhere, and now I'm all discombobulated. Type us in on any social media. I can't. We're gonna have to.
I don't know what that is, but
I don't even know. It looks like the monsters that come out in Five Nights at Freddy's, like when they don't have their thing on.
Yeah, audio.
They're
We'll have to check the video to see.
Email us at nintendodads@gmail.com or call in and leave a voicemail. 929-25-NDADS. That's 929-256-3237. Big thanks to OC Remix for the music used throughout the show. A reminder, wherever you listen to us on your podcast app of choice, be sure to give us a 5-star review and write some words so that you can erase all those horrible reviews we got when I joined the show. For me, for Jesse, and for Tim, and for Justin, who's sick this week, we want to say thanks for being a big part of what makes Nintendo Dads a success. We love you guys. We appreciate each and every one of y'all who listen, and we'll see you next week. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you for listening to Nintendo Dads.
I'm sorry.
Wobble puffet, wobble